Hi guys, welcome to my channel Vinyl Beauty, or welcome back. I'm Debbie if you don't know me. So today's video I'm super excited to do. It's going to be a palette ranking video of all my Shroud palettes. Now I haven't done a palette ranking in a long time. I know they're really popular on other people's channels. I've just not done one. I think it's mainly because although I've got quite a lot of palettes from certain brands, I've not actually tried them all, to my shame. So for this brand though, I've only got 7 palettes, but that's all the palettes that they've ever brought out, and I've got a fair idea of what I think about them all, and I'm pretty confident of this ranking. So without further ado, let's jump into it and rank from worst to best, in my opinion, my Shroud Cosmetics eyeshadow palettes. Okay guys, before we get into the ranking, I just want to say Shroud are one of my favourite brands of all time, so there's no palettes here that I don't like. So if there's something in a lower position, it's not because it's bad in any way, shape or form, although their formula has improved a lot over time, and also, you know, it's down to colour story preference as well. So some of these, although, you know, they're really good palettes, I perhaps prefer the colour story of some of the others more. So in 7th place is the Divinity palette. So it's got the Strobe Cosmetics branding, the brand rebranded in 2019 as Shroud. So I've got a couple of their palettes with the Strobe Cosmetics branding. And the Divinity palette was a very autumnal colour story, but it had an amazing shade in this Katesh, if that's how you say it. It's a beautiful, smooth, rich purple shimmer. It's the only, oh, there's 2 shimmers in the palette, it's Hathor, but it's all about that one for me if I was using a shimmer out of this. The only thing with this one is that I feel like the shimmer doesn't really go with the rest of the shades that are in here, and I struggle to make cohesive looks using that shimmer. So it only leaves me with the light shimmer Hathor, or I can do a very autumnal look with the mattes, and the mattes are fantastic. But the reason it's in the lowest position, as I say, is I just don't really know what to do to incorporate those shimmers in to really make a cohesive look. In 6th position, might surprise a few people because I think this one is a lot of people's favourite palette from Shroud, but it's the Arcana palette. It's absolutely gorgeous packaging, love the artwork on here. I think this one was, oh, this is Shroud, so this was, I think, the first they brought out when they were Shroud. It is absolutely stunning. My issue with this one is it's very, very dark. So it's definitely a mood. You know, if you want something that's really, really dark, then this one's got your back. Every matte, although, you know, they don't look perhaps as deep as all that, when you apply them to your eyes, they're actually deeper than they appear. But the shimmers in here are so rich and buttery and smooth. They're not these ones that are ultra dimensional with glitter particles and shifts from, you know, multi-chrome one colour to another. They're not that. They are jewel toned, smooth, traditional shimmers. They're not even that foiled, they're just rich shimmers, but they are really, really beautiful. And that green shade, I haven't got anything like it, that Alchemy. It's like that forest kind of green, but it's got such a beautiful shine to it. So that one's stunning. And the blue, believe it or not, I mean, I'm starting to get into blue eyeshadow just lately, what is going on? But this blue is stunning as well. All the shimmers are gorgeous. I just think the mattes come out quite deep. So Darkling, I mean, it says it's dark, doesn't it? Darkling the green and Shroud the blue are very, very deep on the eyes. So as I say, I've got to be in the mood for this one. It's definitely kind of a deep and dark and perhaps more Halloween kind of vibe for me. As I say, I love all of these palettes. There's nothing that I don't like here, but it's just not my preference for makeup all the time to go for something as deep and dark as this without anything lighter on the lids to kind of combat it and, I don't know, complement it is the word I'm looking for. But yeah, still a great palette though. So taking our 5th position is the Creepy Cute 2, which came out last year. I love the size of this one, it's super cute. I love the artwork, it's got very similar artwork to the original Creepy Cute. And what I love about this one is it's pastels for people like me that don't want their pastels too light and pastel. So it's kind of a rainbow palette of pastel shades, but a bit more pigmented and bright, and I love that about it. They're definitely still pastels, but they're richer in tone, and I think that's amazing. It's all matte, of course. I did a look, I think, with Alien Queen and Paws Off, which is on my channel if you want to check out the performance of these. But over a white base, packed on, they just really pack a punch and fantastic quality, and such a great companion palette to the original Creepy Cute. So yeah, really do love this one. The only reason it's a bit lower is because I love some of the others more. That's the only reason, because I really do love this one. Right, in fourth position, again, I think might be a lot of people's first place, but it's Beaut Bean as she was at the time, and Shroud Batty Bean now, It's Freaking Bats. And I do love this one, but for me, you guys probably know me quite well now if you've been on my channel before. It's not the colours I gravitate towards. I do like greens, but I tend to go a lot more for warmer tones, for reds or greys or pinks even. I do love the aubergine shade, this Derry shade, but a lot of it's green leaning, which I do love, and there's a lot you can do with this palette. It's just not my favourite kind of colours to use on myself. So I struggle to kind of think what looks I might come up with this, but that's good in a way because it does push me to be a bit more creative, and I have done some really pretty looks with this palette. The shade Apparition is otherworldly. It's gorgeous. It's lilac with like a gold shift, really, really pretty. Zero's a duochrome as well. I mean, there's nothing wrong with any of the shades. The shimmers are beautiful and rich and foiled and easy to pick up, as all Shroud shimmers are. The mattes are super blendable. There's a good range of different colours in here. It's just colour story wise, I like some of the palettes that I'm going to show you more, but I do absolutely adore this palette and have done a lot of looks with it. Okay, in third position then, we have the original Creepy Cute palette. Now, if you've been around on this channel for a while, this has been my #1 pastel palette forever, and there's nothing that can touch it in my eyes. It is fantastic. I use it all the time for accents, you know, if I want to blend out a colour. The black in here, Void, is fantastic. It's the best black in my collection. I love the grey Tombstone. You don't get too many grey mattes that are of the tone that I like. It's just a beautiful tone, and it goes great with Planchette, the lavender shade there. The absolute standout in this palette is Cold Shoulder. This is what attracted me to the palette. I think I saw Annette using this on her channel and I hadn't got it at the time, and I saw her use that shade, and it's just so pigmented. Like, you think of pastels as being a wish-wash of colour, but it's really, really bright and still pastel but pigmented. It's just an incredible shade. And Strawberry Milk is beautiful because you could use that as blush as well. There's just so much you can do with this palette for being a pastel palette. And I love that you haven't got too many shades either, and every shade has its own place in this palette and does something different. Sometimes I find when you get pastel palettes and they're a bit larger than this, you've got just varying tones of pastel that look all the same on the eyes, but these all do a different job. I reach for this one a ton at Halloween time. Just really gravitate towards it then, but one of the absolute staples in my collection, and I adore it. So why isn't it #1? Well, there's 2 more palettes that I'm enjoying a little bit more right now, so let's move on to those. So at #2, straight in at #2 in the charts this week, is the Moonfall palette. So it's what I'm wearing on my eyes right now, and wow, this formula, guys, it's otherworldly. It's fantastic. So the tutorial for the look that I'm wearing right now will either be up on my channel before this video or after. Haven't decided on filming them both on the same day, so you'll get to see them in action. But it's the shimmers. I don't know what she's done to these shimmers, but they are incredible. They're really dimensional. They're glittery but not glitter particles. It's really hard to explain. They're still smooth, but they're so shiny and shifty and beautiful. They're up a complete notch from anything else she's brought out before, and I'd love to see this continuing really, because they're just fantastic. The mattes are the typical mattes that you find from Shroud. They are pretty dark and deep, but this one just stolen my heart for these shimmers, and I'm just so inspired by this jewel tone, beautiful colour story. So yeah, this one is #2 in my countdown. But I had to give #1 to the Batty Bean and Shroud Halloween palette. I love Halloween, as you guys know. I think this is the most perfect Halloween colour story I've ever seen. It's just stunning. It's grungy, but it's interesting. It's got light and dark in it. It's got bright pops, but it's also got a topper shade in here with this ghoulish shade. Black Flame. Oh, I mean, I haven't got very many multi-chromes in my collection, but this is like a green to purple shift, but with so much sparkle. Like if you turn the lights down, you can't really see it in studio light. But after I'd finished my look when I first used this palette, went to the bathroom to take my makeup off, and with the lights a bit lower, just the sparkle, I was just like, I don't want to take this off. It's just so stunning, so beautiful. Afterlife is so bright and gorgeous. Woodsboro is again a dark based orangey shimmer, and unlike anything else that I've got, it's just such a gorgeous colour story and with such an amazing formula, so definitely takes my #1 spot. But as I say, I love all of these palettes with my whole heart. I wouldn't want to not have any of them in my collection, but I just think they've upped a notch in the last couple of palettes, and yeah, it's just great to see. So hope you've enjoyed seeing my ranking of my Shroud Cosmetics eyeshadow palettes. If you've got any requests of any others you'd like to see, I've got lots of palettes from Melt, I've got quite a few from Nomad. I tend to be one of these people that if I'm into a particular brand, I tend to be all in for that brand. So I do have big collections of certain brands. So let me know if you want to see it. I can do it, but it might be a little bit biased by colour story and not by formula, because I won't have used every shade in every palette. I can tell you that I definitely haven't with Melt, but I've got some opinions on what I like in those palettes and what I don't. So maybe that could be a good one to do next. But if you enjoy this kind of video, I know I love watching these. So yeah, as I say, hope you enjoyed it. If you're new to my channel, hope you might consider subscribing before you go. I'm all about eyeshadow on my channel. I don't review products really. It's more about just getting creative with the shadows that I have. I do love buying new eyeshadow, don't get me wrong, but it's all about the colour combinations, doing something a bit different to what everyone else might be doing with those shadows, just having fun with my makeup and trying to inspire you, and also letting you know that whatever your age, you can wear this makeup. If this is what you want to wear, do it. That's what my channel is all about. So yeah, hope you might consider subscribing, as I say. But other than that, guys, thank you for watching this one. Hope you're having a lovely day or night wherever you are, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye, guys.